Love stories. They often begin in the most ordinary of ways. A chance meeting, a spark, a connection that feels special. This one started just like that, in Las Vegas, of all places. It was September 2006. Travis Alexander was a successful salesman and a devout Mormon. He was handsome, charismatic, and by all accounts a man with a bright future ahead of him. Friends described him as the life of the party, someone who drew people in with his energy and his smile. He was looking for something meaningful, something real. And then, he met her. Her name was Jodi Arias, an aspiring photographer from California. She was pretty, intelligent, and seemed to be just what Travis was looking for. Their connection was instant, electric. They talked for hours that first night, discovering a shared sense of humor and a mutual attraction that was impossible to ignore. It felt like the beginning of something wonderful, a classic boy meets girl tale. He was smitten. And she seemed to be completely captivated by him. It was a romance that blossomed quickly, fueled by long phone calls and frequent visits. Within just a few months, the relationship grew serious. Very serious. Jodi decided to make a life-altering change. She was baptized into the Mormon faith, a huge step that seemed to solidify her commitment to Travis and the life he envisioned. To everyone watching, they looked like the perfect couple. They were young, attractive, and seemingly deeply in love. They took smiling photos, went on trips, and integrated into each other's lives. It was a picture of happiness, a snapshot of a love that seemed destined for a fairy tale ending. But fairy tales, as we know, sometimes have very dark chapters. Friends of Travis saw a couple that was head over heels. Jodi seemed to adore him, hanging on his every word. She was supportive of his career and his faith. She moved to Mesa, Arizona, to be closer to him, to build a life with him. The pieces were all falling into place, or so it seemed. They were building a world together, a shared future. But beneath the surface of this idyllic romance, something else was beginning to grow, something hidden, something that would slowly, quietly, begin to poison everything. The perfect picture was about to develop a fatal flaw. The initial passion was intense, almost too intense. And soon, that intensity began to change. It started to curdle. The sweet romance soured into something else entirely, something darker. Travis's friends started to notice things, small things at first. Jodi seemed, possessive. She needed to know where Travis was at all times, who he was with, who he was talking to. The constant calls and texts became less about affection and more about surveillance. The relationship that had once felt liberating for Travis now started to feel like a cage, slowly closing in around him. Travis, a man who cherished his freedom and his friendships, began to feel suffocated. He described Jodi to his friends as clingy, even obsessive. He told them stories that made them uneasy. Stories about Jodi secretly reading his emails. About her checking the mileage on his car to see if he had gone somewhere without telling her. The trust that is the bedrock of any healthy relationship was eroding, replaced by suspicion and control. He wanted to pull back, to create some space. But the more he pulled away, the tighter she seemed to hold on. After only about 5 months of dating, the official romance was over. Travis ended it. But for Jodi, it seemed the end was not an option she was willing to accept. The breakup didn't create distance. It seemed to amplify her obsession. She would still show up at his house in Arizona, uninvited. Sometimes she would let herself in with a key she was supposed to have returned. Friends would arrive to find her there, acting as if nothing had changed. It was confusing for them, and deeply unsettling for Travis. Was this love, or was it something else? The warning signs were flashing red, but perhaps no one saw just how dire the situation was becoming. Travis began dating other women, trying to move on with his life. This, it turned out, was something Jodi could not tolerate. Her jealousy became a powerful, destructive force. She reportedly slashed the tires on one woman's car. She continued to insert herself into his life, blurring the lines between ex-girlfriend and stalker. Travis confessed to his friends that he was scared of her. He knew something was wrong, but he could never have imagined just how wrong it would get. In late May 2008, Jodi Arias told her friends she was going on a road trip, a scenic drive to see the country. She rented a car in her hometown of Redding, California, but her preparations were strange. She bought 3 gas cans, filling them up so she wouldn't have to stop and use a credit card, which would leave a digital trail. She turned off her cell phone for long stretches of the journey. It was a trip that seemed meticulously planned to be untraceable. Her destination? Mesa, Arizona. The home of Travis Alexander, a man who believed their toxic relationship was finally behind him. On June 4, 2008, Jodi arrived at Travis's home. He was expecting another woman for a date that night, but Jodi was there first. What happened next was documented chillingly by Travis's own camera. They took intimate photos of each other. The images start playfully, but they take a dark turn. There are photos of Travis in the shower, and then, a final series of accidental shots. A picture of Travis on the floor, bleeding. A blurry image of what appears to be Jodi dragging his body. These were the last moments of Travis Alexander's life, captured in a haunting digital echo. The attack was one of shocking brutality. It was a frenzy of violence. Travis was stabbed nearly 30 times. His throat was slit from ear to ear, so deeply that he was nearly decapitated. As if that wasn't enough, he was also shot in the head with a .25 caliber handgun. The scene in the bathroom was a horror show, a testament to an unimaginable rage. The person who did this didn't just want him dead. They wanted to obliterate him. After the slaughter, the killer fled, leaving Travis's body to be discovered in the summer heat. 5 days passed. Travis's friends grew worried. He wasn't answering calls. He missed an important work trip. They went to his house to check on him. After forcing their way inside, they followed a horrific smell to the master bathroom. There, they found him. The discovery was traumatic, a nightmare made real. The police were called, and an investigation began immediately. It didn't take them long to find a primary suspect. In the bloody bathroom, investigators found a camera in the washing machine. They recovered the deleted photos. And there, in the pictures with Travis, was Jodi Arias. When police first questioned Jodi Arias, her story was, simple, and it was a complete lie. She claimed she hadn't seen Travis in months. She insisted she was nowhere near Mesa, Arizona on the day of the murder. She had an alibi, she said. She was on her road trip, but her journey never took her to Travis's home. She calmly and coolly denied any involvement, playing the part of a concerned ex-girlfriend, shocked and saddened by the tragic news. But the evidence was already telling a very different story. The photos placed her at the scene. So did a bloody palm print. Faced with irrefutable proof, Jodi's story had to change. It was the first of many changes. Her second story was even more dramatic. She admitted she was there, yes, but she wasn't the killer. She claimed she had witnessed two intruders, a man and a woman, break in and brutally murder Travis. She was the terrified victim who was lucky to have escaped with her life. She described the masked attackers in detail, weaving a complex tale of a home invasion gone horribly wrong. It was a story designed to paint her as a survivor, not a perpetrator, but there was no evidence of any intruders. The investigation continued, and the holes in Jodi's stories grew larger until they collapsed entirely. 2 years after the murder, with her trial approaching, her story changed one final drastic time. She now admitted that she had killed Travis, but she claimed it was in self-defense. She painted a picture of Travis as an abusive partner, saying he had attacked her in a rage that day in the shower, and she had to fight for her life. She was the battered woman, the victim who had finally fought back. It was a shocking reversal, and it set the stage for one of the most sensational trials in recent memory. The trial began in January 2013, and it captivated the nation. It was broadcast live, and millions watched every moment. The prosecution laid out its case. This was a premeditated, cold-blooded murder driven by jealousy. They presented the gas cans, the turned-off phone, and the lies as proof of a meticulous plan. The defense, meanwhile, argued that Jodi was a victim of domestic violence. The testimony was graphic and emotional. Jodi herself spent 18 days on the witness stand, her story shifting under cross-examination. The trial became a public spectacle, a real-life drama playing out for all to see. Why did she do it? That was the question at the heart of the trial, and it's a question that still fascinates crime experts today. Psychologists who studied the case point to a powerful and destructive combination of factors. At the core was a deep-seated obsession. Jodi Arias seemed incapable of accepting that her relationship with Travis was over. His rejection did not lead to sadness and moving on. It fueled a desperate need to maintain control over him. When she felt that control slipping away completely as he started dating other women, Her obsession morphed into a murderous rage. This need for control is a key element. For some individuals with certain personality disorders, the idea of being abandoned is the ultimate fear. It can trigger extreme and sometimes violent reactions. The prosecution argued that if Jodi couldn't have Travis, then nobody could. The sheer brutality of the murder, the stabbing, the shooting, the slit throat, was not the act of someone defending themselves. Prosecutors argued it was an act of personal overkill, an explosion of fury from a woman who had been scorned and was determined to have the final, terrible word in their story. In May 2013, after a long and grueling trial, the jury delivered its verdict. They didn't believe the self-defense story. They didn't believe the intruder story. They found Jodi Arias guilty of first-degree murder. The jury agreed with the prosecution that the murder was premeditated and committed with extreme cruelty. After a second jury was unable to agree on the death penalty, a judge sentenced her to life in prison with no possibility of parole. Her final appeal was denied. Jodi Arias will spend the rest of her life behind bars, a consequence of her deadly obsession. The story of Jodi Arias and Travis Alexander remains a chilling, cautionary tale. It's frightening not because it's a story of monsters lurking in the shadows, but because it's a story about the darkness that can hide within ordinary people. It shows how emotions we all experience, love, jealousy, rejection, can, in some, curdle into something monstrous. The case serves as a stark reminder that the line between passion and obsession can be dangerously thin, and that when it is crossed, the consequences can be lethal. It's a love story that ended not with a wedding but with a crime scene, and that is a horror that continues to haunt us.